Fernando Alonso has been criticized by a Sky Sports pundit for his involvement in the George Russell incident during the Australian GP. Fernando Alonso has been warned he caused great damage during the incident that saw George Russell and his Mercedes car flipped sideways at Sunday's Australian Grand Prix. Russell was able to exit his car unhurt, but Sky Sports pundit Martin Brundle believes Alonso may have hampered his hopes of joining Mercedes at the end of the season because of the accident. It was a hectic end to a gripping race, with Silver Arrows driver Russell left strewn across the middle of the track during the final lap of the contest. The Brit, who had been battling for sixth place with Alonso, swerved into a pit of gravel, before hitting the side wall and being thrown back out onto the track. Bar some obvious cosmetic damage to the Mercedes car, there weren't any major issues caused, with Russell eventually helped out of his cockpit by the trackside medical team. However, writing for Sky Sports after the race in Melbourne, Brundle has claimed Alonso could have impacted his chances of being picked up by Mercedes when the German constructor begins their search for Lewis Hamilton's replacement. But for his seat belts, George Russell would have fallen out of the side window of his Mercedes with a bizarre incident behind Fernando Alonso on the penultimate lap, the pundit wrote. Quote, "The end result looked a bigger accident than it was in some respects, as the car resting on its side now blocked the gravel-strewn track. The leaders were on the last lap and race control covered the incident with a virtual safety car, meaning all drivers had to slow down to a target time on their dashboard." He later added, "After the incident, Alonso popped his saintly halo on and went to see the race stewards, explaining how he intended to approach turn 6 differently for a better exit speed, which included decelerating 100 meters earlier, brushing the brake, and even a downshift. This is what caught Russell out. We've seen Alonso do that before in Nürburgring in 2003 against David Coulthard, and he had exactly the same playbook. Except this time, it caused a huge amount of costly damage for a team who could well be on his wish list. While he's a firm outsider to take the vacant Mercedes spot after Hamilton's departure, Alonso's name has still been in the mix, but a costly mistake like this might end up harming his chances of being signed. Instead, the 8-time Constructors' champions could look elsewhere, with the likes of Esteban Ocon, Carlos Sainz and even Max Verstappen linked to a Mercedes switch.